A great event here. We want to give a shout out to both Ontario Basketball and Ryerson for putting on such a great event. We had a coaches clinic last night, which also featured your color commentator Steve Bauer, along with Gina Oriema and Carly Clark, the Ryerson women's basketball coach. And then we have Kia Nurse and the Yukon Huskies taking on Hallie Bovell and the Duquesne tonight at 7 p.m.
Blue Devils.
Blue Devils, thank you.
I want to, Max, I want to say thanks. It's not very often Monday you get put ahead of Gino, so
Yep.
I'll take that one off. Thanks for being a great friend.
All right, and here we go. Durham Elite retains the tip, and Washington looks to attack. And right away, the pass for O'Hara is tied up by Jenna Golden in the post. It's going to be jump ball going right over to Crothers.
I used to like those things as a coach, or still do. Is you get some of your best players being a little creative on the first possession. It doesn't always have to go great, but getting them a bit of the flow of the game. So Washington come down, try that little shovel pass back to the post that gets deflected. It's still just nice that she's engaged and ready to go, and I almost encourage those things early. As the game goes on, you got to tighten that stuff up, but I don't mind them getting into it.
Here's Golden trapped in the corner by Chadwick. Great defense here by Durham to start. Downs is able to get around the defenders, though, unable to convert, and Demiki comes down with the board. Washington, little spry intercept, finds Bailey. The corner three, a bit too strong. It's going to be tipped off Washington out of bounds. It's going to be Bill Crothers' ball.
Yeah, that was a nice find, too. And what I like about that is Washington starts here on the closest sideline to us, works herself to the middle of the floor, and then throws it back where she came from. So as you leave the sideline, the defense naturally starts to suck in towards that rim. She comes back where they were leaving, gets her teammate open three.
Here's Messier against Washington. A little confusion there with Samuels, but able to control herself. Oh, a little tie up in the paint there, but Grizzle's able to get free. Her pull up from the foul line's no good, and Chadwick comes the other way for Durham Elite. Chadwick working on Golden, unable to get the lefty to go. Tipped out of bounds there by Demiki. It's going to go Bill Crothers' ball.
Yeah, a little opposite approaches here in the start of this game. So Durham's come down, and they've done a nice job exploring in transition, finding a shot early. Brothers came down, got themselves right into their set offense, so they could generate an offense or the shot that they were looking for. So just different approaches to start this game.
Here's Downs at the top, finds Golden. They're looking for Grizzle on the block against Washington. Looking to go to work, a little bit tied up there, though, and she's going to be called for the travel. It's going to go over to Durham Elite.
So we've had O'Hara and Golden have gotten tangled up here now, back-to-back possessions there, some work in the post off the ball. So it'll be interesting to watch that one, if there's some history or just some good competitive nature going on there.
Inbound comes to Washington. She gets right down the key, and she's going to finish, plus the foul on Golden. She'll be at the line to convert the three-point play.
So I love getting up and putting some pressure on the inbound there in the front court, the back court, whatever way you want to look at the team. But the challenge with someone like Washington is if you're going to go past the point of the ball and to probably that denial, and she can cut backdoor and be in that kind of space, she is too good in transition with that kind of room to get to the rim. You got to find some way that can corral her and get some people in front of her to slow her down.
Washington unable to convert, but O'Hara comes right down with the offensive board. She's going to be fouled on the put-back attempt by Samuels, and she'll be at the line for two of her own.
This will be a test for Coach Graham's patience a bit. You send the first one to the line on an and-one scenario, then the missed free throw results in an offensive rebound, another foul, and kind of things that just compound and drive coaches nuts quickly.
Said so calmly yourself. O'Hara off on both the free throws, but Chadwick able to follow up, and she finishes for two.
I probably spoke too early. That might be the point that actually gets Coach Graham infuriated.
So Durham unable to convert all three opportunities from the line, but cleaning up the offensive glass early, taking a 4-0 lead here or over Bill Crothers. Here's Messier looking to attack, tied up by Washington. Demiki comes away with it. Long strides in transition. She's going to be fouled by Grizzle. She'll be at the line for two more for Durham Elite.
Really liked Demiki there at the end of that drive. So she got herself to the left side of the rim, but what I think was a little subtlety she had is that last step she took herself from running towards the corner and directed herself right back to the rim. So now she had shifted her hips and everything was going back towards the rim. That creates the angle where you're going to draw a foul. It gets you going back to the rim, so you're not throwing it across your body trying to finish. It's a little bit of a scorer's instinct where they can just find the rim that way. It puts her vision back there and body in the right place. So Really appealing to see.
Again, Durham unable to convert on the free throw opportunities, but fighting for the boards again. It's going to be tipped off Durham, though. It's going to be Bill Crothers' ball.
So that can be taken both ways. I think if you're Durham, you're going to give yourself some credit for getting to the foul line. That's a really big plus. They've done a nice job rebounding. If you're Crothers, though, you got to be really worried with this offensive rebounding going on the back end for you. Durham's going to be able to get that many rebounds. It's going to be a big problem.
Durham picks up the pressure, extending full court. Crothers is able to break it. They get a good look for Golden on the baseline. Unable to convert, but there is Wright fighting for the offensive glass. Durham right down the other way, and Washington's able to finish with the left. A quick timeout here for Crothers. 6-0 lead now for Durham. 7:30 remaining in the first.
Yeah, timeout makes sense. I mean, the game starts and Durham's getting probably the scenarios they want. They're getting things in transition. They're getting offensive rebounds, and they're getting to the foul line. So pretty much every box you could check, they're doing that here to start this game. So Crothers going to have to go in here and talk a bit about two pieces, really slowing them down. What's going on with the transition defense that's allowing them to get out running. And the second piece is putting some bodies on people and getting some rebounds.
Another timeout. We have Iseline Alexander checking in for Crothers. So with her and Wright both on, we have a different look in the front court for Crothers. Let's see if they can help clean up that rebounding battle that Durham has had the slight edge early. Samuels get right into the lane, but unable to convert on the floater. Durham quickly the other way again. Washington gets it in the left corner. Right back to O'Hara. Her three is no good. Messier cleans up the defensive rebound and looks to go the other way. Tipped out of bounds from Washington. It's going to remain Bill Crothers' ball.
Yeah, great job by Washington. You go from, she went right underneath the rim there trying to get that rebound, couldn't get it, and then ran the play down from behind, but had the patience and the awareness to get all the way up to Messier before poking it. And the poke that comes from low as opposed to from over shoulder is always a better job of avoiding a referee's whistle.
Here's Downs on the left side, makes a move, puts up the floater, and it's good.
Yeah, nice
First 2 points for Downs and Bill Crothers.
Good extra move there to come to a stop and the up fake, but then would pivot through and had another up fake. Ooh. It's a little extra effort from Downs, so you can appreciate that. So Crothers comes to the timeout. We talked about Durham was checking off every box. Downs comes down, gets a really nice basket, comes here on the defensive end, gets a poke, and then puts her body on the floor to keep this thing going. That's probably what they needed for a little bit of injection of energy here for the Crothers side.
And Crothers falls back into his zone now. Let's see how Durham attacks. They get it to Chadwick at the free throw line. Unable to convert, working on Wright. Messier has the ball, and she's looking to attack for Crothers.
He came out in his zone that time too, Max, which is probably a good change of pace. So Crothers just doing a couple of things here, I think, to change it up. As you said, change the lineup, change the defense. See if he can change the flow.
Messier gets into the lane, and she's able to finish with a floater of her own. But right back the other way, Durham's looking to push as Bailey kicks ahead to O'Hara. She's able to finish with the layup.
Yeah, that one's frustrating, and I think if you're Bill Crothers, then it's frustrating because your players are back, but they stopped running at the three-point line. Just kind of stood still, and the ball came over top their heads. So they allowed the offense to get in behind them because they stopped running.
Here's Downs at the top. Messier, 5 on the shot clock, trying to make something happen, gets to her left hand. She's going to be fouled there by Demiki on the attempt. She'll be at the line for 2.
A nice job in the sense that Messier had to get something going to the rim. They've been a bit stagnant on offense. I think they were looking for a high-low there. They had 2 cracks at it, but couldn't find a pass they liked. So Messier's going to have to make something happen off the bounce. She did go right at it and drew foul.
Messier able to hit both from the line, so Bill Crothers able to capitalize from the line early on. It's now a 2-point Durham Elite lead. Downs right in front of us, picking up Bailey.
See, Durham's gone without Washington and Chadwick together as a sub, so it'll be interesting to watch what they do, if they do something different with this lineup.
Massam shot attempt a little bit off. Demiki's able to follow, though. Massam comes down with that offensive rebound, though. The fight tipped around, and Wright's able to come up with it for Crothers.
That was really great hands there by Massam to get a second chance at it and put the rebound up in the rim. Just couldn't fall.
Downs is there, fouled by Bailey, trying to fly in for a steal there, so it's going to retain with Bill Crothers. It's Bailey's first of the game.
Durham, I mean, we gave credit to Washington, the first one that she ran down. She has the quickness to really make that play happen, but we've now seen them chase down a couple things. As the ball handlers will go away from them, they're just running them down. So aggressive in pursuit, Durham is.
Here's Wright from the top for three, a little bit off. Alexander fighting for a rebound, though. She's going to be tied up by O'Hara. It's going to go Durham Elite way.
That's a good rebound. I think Alexander got to probably a slower start towards the rebound than she wanted, but what she did is she ended up pushing the defender underneath the rim. So instead of trying to get around the defender, she just used the leverage and the positioning that she had, seal for the long rebound, and got that one.
Here's Durham working it around. They look to O'Hara on the block. And Wright's going to be called for the foul there on O'Hara's post-up attempt. That'll be her first, team's fourth of the quarter.
It's probably, for the ones that Crothers just had, that was probably one of their better fouls. I think we talked about the first couple minutes, they showed a little, maybe lacked a little energy that they're showing now. So I think one of those fouls is probably a bit of a positive. Get in there and mix it up some.
Washington from the top for three, and she's able to convert. 7 early points here for Kashana Washington, extending the lead 11-6 now for Durham Elite. Alexander's going to be called for a little jump of the feet travel there at the top of the key. It's going to be Durham ball.
Yeah, that one can be really subtle, but I think when you had Bailey just come into the lane, I think Alexander was taking for granted the pass she was going to make, but Bailey was just active in being up in those passing areas. Made her have a second time. Whenever you have hesitation, your body doesn't move like you're expecting.
Fight for the rebound with Massam and Grizzle. It's going to go Bill Crothers' way.
They're showing some fight now. Crothers, though, we've had a bunch of tie-ups. I mean, whenever you get those, it's usually a pretty good sign that both teams are getting after a loose ball or free ball.
Messier directing traffic here for Crothers, pointing them in the right way, and she's going to be fouled on the left wing. Looks like it's going to be Washington with the reach in.
Yeah, that's one they probably want to stay out of. Washington's so key to what Durham's doing right now, and off to a great start in this game. So what you want to avoid are these fouls up in scenarios like that. She's not typically foul prone, but you just don't want to give yourself a situation where you're in a deficit of fouls to give.
Durham giving Crothers a zone look, and they're able to handle that, finding Alexander right on the block, and she finishes for two. Washington driving against Messier, finds Chadwick, the left corner three, no good. Long rebound out to Grizzle. She looks to push. Pump and go there by Jagid. Unable to convert. And Allen comes down with it for Durham Elite.
Crothers has done a nice job now starting to slow down Durham compared to how the game began.
Allen now from the corner. She's unable to hit. Alexander comes down with it for Crothers.
Washington continues to distribute the ball well, though. She gets going downhill and finding other options.
Messier gets in the lane, tries to find right on the block. A little bit too strong, though. It comes down to Chadwick, and she's pushing the other way. Here's Bailey getting in the key. A drag of the back foot, though, and it's going to go Bill Crothers' ball.
I mean, you can see, this is, I think, that earlier foul we talked about the Washington not wanting to have that. You can see the last possession, that playing its dividends already. So Messier gets in there. Washington was about to go for a steal, ends up putting both her hands behind her back, and that's almost as a reaction, like, I can't get the second foul. But the reality is, like, her putting her hands behind the back opens up so many other passing windows and angles for Messier to see what's going on. So it's a detriment now to how Washington's trying to defend.
Tipped away from Washington off Messier's drive. It's going to be Bill Crothers' ball. 10 on the shot clock now.
Looks like they're going to drop the zone here as well. Durham on the baseline of the bounds.
And again, we've had troubles with that sideline so far in the first game, and again here with Messier stepping out on the pass from the baseline out of bounds.
This one's probably the most explicable of all of them, though, in the sense that it was a tip and it might have thrown Messier off a little bit of where she thought her footwork had to be to get that one and reel it back in.
Crothers drops back into a zone of their own now. Let's see how Durham Elite challenges that. They get Bailey an open look on the wing, and she's able to hit for 3.
Yeah, they've been shooting the ball well here early for Durham. A couple of made shots have really stretched out some 14 points right now in the first 8 minutes. It's a good start for them.
Kick ball there by Washington. It's going to remain with Crothers. Durham remains in that zone. They get a tip from Washington. Comes down to Bailey. Washington's out and running. She's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts of playing zone defense is just that. It's so much easier to run out of. So Washington, the pass goes by her. Once there's any deflection on the other side of the floor, she can just take off. She's in the breakout position to begin with. She's never down the corner. If you want to set someone like that free, which you may with the athleticism she has, you don't need to put her into responsibility to rebound. Just let her go run out in transition.
Grizzle was fouled on that take to the rim, but she'll be at the line for 2. Able to hit the first. And the second.
Brothers quickly makes their first 4 for 4 free throws, and Durham right now is at the 0 for 5. So as we touched on a bit earlier, those free throws can slowly add up over the course of the game.
Chadwick working on Goldman on the right side, finds Hutchins. They continue to swing it around. Bailey, good cut, finds a Chadwick open on the baseline, and she's able to hit for 2.
That's pretty good ball movement. There's not a lot of possessions where you get the ball in the middle of the floor, kicked out, and then back to the middle of the floor and kicked out again. I think anytime you can get 2 touches to the paint, kick it back out, you're going to find a jump shooter open.
Here's Crothers getting into the horns. Look, they find Downs right on the block. She's unable to hit for 2. Bailey comes up with it. She's pushing the other way, but tied up there by Grizzle in the open court. Jagid unable to hit, but Downs again on the glass. Unable to hit the putback, though. Chadwick making things happen from the top, defended by Golden. Rolls out, though. It's going to be out of bounds off of Durham. It's going to remain with Bill Crothers. 50 seconds now in the first.
Yeah, and now we'll get a chance. This will be, I don't know, the stoppage pretty well set up for Crothers. They get a chance to go 2 for 1 here to end this quarter. Usually in those scenarios, you want to get a shot around 37 or so. Give yourself enough chance to get a stop and get the ball back for the second one. So let's see if they get something in quick here. I mean, you never sacrifice 2 for 1 to taking a bad shot, so they've got to get something down here and into an early action, see if they can create something out of it.
Here's Grizzle working against Amiki. Finds Alexander on the block. She's going to be fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
Yeah, and almost right on cue they did that. They came down, got into the high horns action, and hit the roller, got themselves a shot about 36. So probably their ideal scenario. You come down now, you get 1 stop, and you get a chance to come back and finish the quarter with your ball.
Alexander able to hit the first. And the second, so Crothers stays perfect from the line. 6 for 6 here early on, trimming the lead now 6 for Durham Elite. Oh no. You okay there, Steve?
I'm so sorry. I was trying to get the mic away.
Hutchins tied up at the foul line. She gets it over to Allen, unable to hit. Messier comes down with it. They're looking to push. Alexander in the open court takes Chadwick right on. She'll be fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
Those worked really well for Carruthers. They had the setup for the 2-for-1. They went down, they got that one, they got to the line for 2. They come down, they got the stop. I mean, obviously you trade the opportunity to have a last shot for an opportunity to get a shot in transition. So they took that and they get 2 more free throws now. So they're finishing the first quarter with 4 free throw attempts in the last 30 seconds or 36 seconds, which is pretty ideal.
Alexander able to hit again from the line.
And they continue to convert from the free throw line, which makes it that much better.
Alexander unable to hit that one as Chadwick comes down with it. She's pushing the other way for Durham. Great defense there by Downs. 5 now on the clock. Washington working against Downs. Gets her step back. Just a bit off, though. So at the end of one, we have Durham Elite 18, Bill Carruthers 13.
Yeah, Downs did a nice job on that last possession there. I think Washington was trying to set her with a step back, but it looked like Downs was on top of that the whole time. Just kept her hand right in that shooting pocket, so kind of threw off her rhythm and forced a tough shot to finish the quarter.
At the end of the first quarter, leading scorers for Bill Carruthers is Iseline Alexander with 5 and Kashana Washington with 9 for Durham Elite.
Yeah, Washington came out with a quick 7, which was nice to set the pace for them. Carruthers, though, and Alexander got most of her points there in those last, not Carruthers the team, Alexander got most of her points in the last 40 seconds, and those free throws were probably a big boost for them, just for the morale, like what they were trying to do. A good execution down the stretch can really give you a better sense and feel for how that quarter went. So Carruthers would love to remove the first, I don't know if it was 2 minutes there when they just seemed like everything was going Durham's way, but take that out there and they'd probably feel a lot better where this game was at. So first 2 minutes can be replaced. You've got enough time to make that up, but it can only happen if you do things well for the rest of the game, and that's the situation that Carruthers is now in. They dig themselves out of a 5-point deficit.
I've been replaced. All right, and here to start the second, we have Durham Elite's ball working against the zone of Bill Carruthers. And Toussaint's able to get right in the lane, and she finishes with the floater of her own. 20-13 now, Durham Elite lead.
Downs took a little bit of a chance there, which is fine. I'm not against those things, but it is what happens. Downs took a chance on the pass across the top, and then Durham just came right in behind that gap that she had created, taking the jump.
Late in the shot clock, Grizzle puts up the lefty over Washington. It's going to be a shot clock violation, no rim.
Grizzle got stuck. It seemed like a possession that never really got going. There's nothing happened that wasn't on the perimeter, and I think after 5 or 6 passes of that, it became just the shot that Grizzle had to force up.
Chadwick gets it in the lane. Her jump shot rims out, but O'Hara again fighting for the rebound. She'll be fouled, and she'll be at the line for 2.
And this is part of how the first quarter started for Durham as well. They went to the offensive glass and turned what were pretty good possessions to start the game, but into great possessions, because now you're getting the offensive rebound, you're getting a second chance, you're getting to the free throw line. What they missed the opportunity of in the first quarter was hitting the free throws. They didn't make one for the entire first quarter, so we'll see if they can change that fate here in the second.
Bam! Just like that, O'Hara hits the first of the second. And quickly makes it 2 for 2 from the line so far this quarter. So we now have a 9-point Durham Elite lead. Grizzle working against Massam. Kicks over to Messier, and the deep three over Washington is good.
I think shooters always like that one. Messier's kind of curling up that. It's almost the action you do in a lot of shooting drills. Just come with a 45 towards the top. So just step into it, be a real rhythm shot. So nice look for her. Nice one to get going.
O'Hara finds Chadwick just inside the free throw line. Unable to convert, though. The pass is tipped away there by Samuels, and Messier comes up with it. Crothers is looking to push. They're going to call a kickball there on Messier, so it's going to go Durham Elite ball.
Yeah, I love to have your guards explore that a bit and see if they can split the trap sometimes. That's really a backbone breaker for the defense. But when it doesn't work and you get stuck into a crowd of people like that, there's a lot of hands and feet around, so it becomes really tricky.
Trying to find Chadwick at the high post, and it's tipped from behind by Downs. It's going to be off of Bill Crothers, remaining with Durham Elite.
Yeah, Crothers done a nice job using Downs here in this part of the zone. She's been very active. She took the chance early to kind of cost them a bit, but she's also caused a bit of disruption for anything going as a reversal across the floor for Durham.
Sam's pass is just out of the reach of O'Hara. It's going to go over to Crothers now. And with that turnover, we do have a timeout, Durham Elite. So going into the first timeout of the second, we have a 22-16 lead for the Durham Elite over Bill Crothers Secondary School.
Yeah, I'm going to assume Durham is going to come into this one and talk a bit about that zone. So we touched on Downs as taking some chances here at the top and really disrupting what Durham's trying to do. So in this time, I think it's going to give them a chance to talk about how they attack probably in behind her. So the first one might have been a bit by accident. They cut into that space, but now they're going to find some action going to the high post. And what that's going to do is just actually pull Downs back into the zone defense. If you can get some action on the back side of her, then the ball can reverse to the second side and allow Durham to move it a bit better. So I'd anticipate that's what they're going to talk about this time out. And Crothers would be a chance for them to potentially pocket the zone again for a couple of possessions to come back to see if they can disrupt that flow of what Durham's up to.
Coming out of the timeout, we have the same lineup for Crothers with Messier, Grizzle, Samuels, Downs, and Golden. Coming out of the timeout for Durham, we have Thomas, Toussaint, Bailey, Massam, and O'Hara. Durham falls right back into that zone. Messier looks to attack from the top, gets right in the lane, and her floater's good.
So they got what we were kind of talking about for Durham on zone offense. Bill Crothers came out and got, which is went to one side, get to the side, and on the second side you can attack the space that's created. We'll see if Durham come out with some sort of adjustment as well.
They get it to Bailey in the corner. Finds Toussaint, short corner. They swing it back to Bailey. She's covered. Very active both the top and bottom as Crothers is able to come up with another steal. Messier in transition is going to be fouled by O'Hara. She'll be at the line for two. Crafty move there by Messier to draw the contact on the attempt in transition.
Yeah, I agree, Max. I think Messier did a real nice job because O'Hara was back, but I don't think she felt she was in a position to challenge the shot. So she actually looked like she was going to concede the shot some, but decided to keep her hands out of the play. But Messier had gone to that contact, and O'Hara was still trying to run through the line, so the contact body to body is where the foul came.
Messier able to hit the first, a little bit off on the second, but Samuels is able to track it down for Crothers. 7 on the shot clock now for Crothers as they pass around. They get Samuels in the corner. Rattles out. Bailey comes down with it for Durham. Crothers stays in that zone. Pass it around, find Bailey at the top. Her three is just off. Golden gets it down for Crothers, and they look to push. Messier finds Downs in transition, just a bit short. O'Hara comes down with it for Durham.
That was a nice job by Messier to flag that first one down. The outlet pass was a little too high, but she was able to get a tip on it, but it was a controlled enough tip that she could run into it and get the ball quickly to Downs in front of the pack.
Great defense and hustle there by Downs as she's able to poke it away, dive on the ground, pick up the ball. It's going to be jump ball going Bill Crothers' way.
Downs is, pretty consistent in adding that element to Crothers. She does a great job at the defensive end. She causes a lot of disruptions, but she really just adds a ton of energy. She gets on the floor for things. She just hounds the ball carrier at times.
Yep. Here's Grizzle on the right wing. Gets a little pull-up short. Demiki comes down with it for Durham. In transition, Hutchins is going to be tied up there by Grizzle. It's going to remain Durham ball off of Grizzle's block. 17 on the shot clock.
Good little possession for Hutchins. One on the floor. She challenges the pull-up jumper with a real nice contest, and is the first one on the floor to get the outlet pass.
There's O'Hara at the top working against Wright. Tied up there by Downs. Gets an extra step. Unable to convert the layup, though, and here comes Crothers. Grizzle pushing, finds Messier for three, just too strong. Demiki comes down with it for Durham. Bailey gets right in the lane, gets her the pass over to Massam, it looks like. She's unable to convert. Hutchins gets it, though. Her hook's no good. Crothers comes down with it. Here's Messier in transition, now gets to the pull-up she likes so much. Just a bit too strong, the fight for the board. Comes down to Golden, it's no good. Hutchins gets the next one. Downs again able to tie her up, but this time the jump ball's gonna go to Durham.
The last two possessions down for Durham have been pretty solid defensive end. They forced two pull-ups, and each time they've been right there to contest. So I think the numbers would support that if you're forcing the opponent into pull-ups that are contested, you're gonna like how your defense is going.
Washington and Chadwick checking back into the game for Durham. Here's Demiki working against Messier. She's going to be fouled on the attempt. She'll go to the line for two. It's Messier's first foul of the game.
Yeah, those ones are always interesting. Only Demiki can know what was really on her mind, but if she took that shot because she felt that contact, that's always considered a real savvy play for a scorer. You get the contact on, and you put it up to the rim and get the chance for the free throws or potentially an and one. But if she was actually just taking a tough shot and got a little lucky because Messier got her hand in where she shouldn't, then you would like to advise her to be a little more selective in which opportunity she's going to the rim with.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. She's able to convert one from the line. Coming down the other way, Downs gets right to the basket, unable to convert. Right, though, on the follow. She'll be fouled. She'll be at the line for two.
One of the really challenging things when you have athletes that are players that can block shots, and O'Hara's proven to be that for Durham, is that half the time it ends up in a broken play. You don't know where it's going to end up next, and your defense isn't ready for that. So this is a pretty good example. She makes a tremendous play on the first one by Downs. What happens is it just kind of falls to the side, and a crowd of people, it could be anyone that collects it. It's Crothers in this scenario, and then Crothers goes up with it, and it ends up drawing a foul on you. So the downside to blocks is sometimes you can't control where it ends up. The really great ones can push in a direction, but not always so fortunate.
Wright's able to hit that second one. Demiki looking to attack. Tripped up there by Jagid. She'll be at the line for two again.
Now, I like that attack a lot more from Demiki. So let's assume that she doesn't get, if the foul doesn't occur, she doesn't get tripped up. I think that's going to be a great one where she's going to have a chance to go right over top of the help defender. The help defender's stuck almost flat-footed. Demiki's going to have a chance to explode and put the shot up on top of the glass where the defense can come. So I like that one a lot more. The trip up ends up putting her on the line.
First one unable to go for Demiki. Here comes the second attempt. And on that one, we had a double violation both on Hutchins and Alexander. So on the miss, we're going to use the jump ball arrow going to Bill Crothers. Messier gets doubled off the screen. They find Wright, who kicks down to Alexander in the key. She's tied up by Demiki, though. It's going to go off Durham, out of bounds. It's going to remain with Bill Crothers.
It's a great symbol of how quickly things have to happen, the timing being so important in basketball, is that first track comes in, it's a good pass out of it to the top, but because Wright can't grasp the initial pass, the ball was over second, that time allowed them to get back and get in the path or the lane trying to get the ball to Alexander. So it's that quickly. One bobble can change the whole play sequence. Something Crothers had done perfectly, but a bobble disrupts it.
And on the out of bounds, Wright just cuts right to the ball, able to get it and gets the free throw to go, the layup to go. Messier comes with a steal on the next inbounds, kicks it over to Alexander, who couldn't finish. Wright again fighting for the ball, and it's going to be off right out of bounds. It's going to remain with Durham.
Yeah, I think on that steal that Washington got a little shaken up actually, because she kind of stood here out of that play for a long time until the ball kind of bounced over into her area. So I think she took a little shot to the face and was regrouping, but she looks to be fine now.
Here's Chadwick, gets the inbound. She's tied up though. She gets it over to O'Hara. It's Washington on the left wing spot. Drives in, kicks to O'Hara. The open three, just a bit off. Chadwick comes down with the O board. She can't finish though. It's going to be off O'Hara's hands. It's going to go out. Bill Crothers' ball.
Yeah, that was a pretty physical rebound. You saw the four of them were tangled up there. The ball actually bounced in between the four of them because they're all tangled up and battling for position. So nice rebound for Chadwick, but a real nice fight for both sides.
Alexander finds a cutting right under the basket. Wright's unable to convert, but Alexander fights for the O board. She gets it. It's going to be called for the foul. She'll be at the line for two. Alexander again able to hit from the line. Tying this game up at 23-all. 3 minutes and 57 seconds left in the second quarter. Alexander again from the line. Bill Crothers now with her first lead of the game, 24-23, 3:50 now in the second. Let's see how Durham responds. O'Hara looking to drive against Grizzle, gets to a right scoop, and it's good.
That was an athletic little scoop, Max, to get going with your left hand towards the baseline and come all the way back with your right underhand cupping of the basketball. It's a nice little play by O'Hara.
Messier gets right in the lane, but it's going to be called for the foul. She'll be at the line for two. That foul's going to be on O'Hara, saying she hit her on the drive before the attempt, so Messier will be at the line for two.
And you can see they're right now on the Durham bench. They're talking a bit about that. That's going to be her third foul. So if they're going to have the confidence to let her play the last 3:30 here in the first half, or if they're going to sit her down for a bit.
Messier able to hit 1 of 2 from the line, so it's 25-all.
I'm sure that conversation will continue into halftime as well, too, of what you're going to do to start the second half with O'Hara's. Or how do you manage those minutes to ensure she doesn't get an early fourth.
Washington gets to her floater on the left side, no good, but Demiki's able to pull down the O board. Washington right back to the basket, unable to hit that floater. The fight for the rebound comes down to Wright, and she pushes ahead to Messier. Messier gets tied up by Demiki. It doesn't go. Wright again with another offensive rebound, though. She'll be at the line for 2 of her own.
Wright continues to be a great presence in there for Crothers. She's been a very physical force in there. She's been fighting for a rebound. She's taken a few that she's had no business getting, turned them into free throw opportunities. So great job for her on the glass.
A little bit off there on the first for Wright.
And they did sub for O'Hara on this timeout as well, too. So with the 3 fouls, she's probably going to be a safe guess that she'll be done for the first half, but we'll see what Durham decides to do.
Picked off there by Jagid. She's going the other way. Washington looks to tie her up, but Jagid gets right around, gets right to the rim, and she'll be fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
It'll be a nice little play. I think she very legitimately at one point wanted to pass that ball off, but the pressure from Durham actually ended up over pursuit. So nice little play to get back into it and go.
Little bit off on the first. Able to hit the second.
You see they're doing some work here early on Washington, trying to just disrupt her part of the offense, not let her be the first one to catch the ball, and definitely making her work a little hard to get involved with the offense in the quarter court as well.
They find Washington on the left wing. She looks to drive against Messier, gets in the lane. It's going to be off of Alexander's leg, though out of bounds. It will remain with Durham Elite.
They've definitely gone down the path of having to make Washington, making her have to work a little bit harder to be involved in the offense. And, you know, with the start she had to this game, it makes sense for Crothers to have gone that route.
That pass is tipped off by Downs. It's going to remain Durham ball still. Eight on the shot clock here for Durham. Demiki to inbound. Chadwick up top. 4 on the shot clock now. Gets it to Washington. A little fake gets Messier out of the way. A little bit short on the 3 attempt, though. Samuels comes down with it for Crothers.
Sure did a nice job, though. Forced her to take another step, another move to get the shot off.
The open 3 for Messier in transition's no good, but the fight for the rebound is going to be off Alexander. It's going to go back to Durham, sorry.
Yeah, good effort there by Alexander. She went up on top of the crowd there. You can see maybe aggravated her back a little bit, though. She's walking away, but went up there and challenged that rebound, trying to give them a second opportunity.
Bailey bringing it up for Durham Elite, guarded by Downs. There's Washington now. Defended by Messier, finds a cutting Chadwick just out of her reach. It's going to be tipped off Chadwick out of bounds. It's going to go over to Crothers.
Yeah, Crothers has really stepped this up defensively. They've done a nice job disrupting pieces. We've talked about the job they're doing on Washington. We've talked about the thing that Downs is doing in the zone to cut some work. But now, even these simple passes, trying to get Chadwick, and they're not letting those passes go direct. And that extra work seems to have caused Durham some problems.
Grizzle back into the game here for Crothers, along with Golden. They get Grizzle a touch on the block. She kicks it over. Jagid's shot attempt is a bit too strong. Bailey comes down with it for Durham. Bailey's able to get right around Grizzle, but her attempt is no good. It's going to be Crothers' ball.
See what Durham shows here. It feels like the last couple months they've been lacking a little bit of energy in that pep they've had. So I wonder if they'll change something up here for the final minute and a half and get a different flow to their defense going into halftime.
Samuel's pass for Downs is tipped away by Demiki. Durham comes the other way. Demiki goes right over Grizzle, and she's able to finish for 2 in transition.
I like that. When you pick that up and you got one defender there and you can get around her, I think it's a better move just to go by that as opposed to trying to get that pass and give the defender the angle on your teammate.
Right back the other way. Crothers is able to get 2 good shot attempts in transition, but unable to convert. Durham looks to push now. Washington gets a drive on Golden, but leaves it short, but picks up her own offensive miss.
That's a good shot opportunity for Washington, though. They wanted that.
Toussaint finds a cutting Demiki. She's fouled again. She'll go to the line for 2 more shots. Great off-ball movement there for Durham, sorry.
Demiki gets a couple good shot attempts, which are very positive, but the one that I wanted to re-highlight or talk about again was the one for Washington. You come down in transition. She ends up passing up the shot to attack, and that's fine. She's great at the bounce, but the thing for Durham that's nice is it's been almost the entire second quarter since they've had a shot opportunity like that for her. So got to take that piece of info, see what else they can find for her. Early in the game it was transition pieces, and they may need to get back into transition to find some opportunities for Washington.
Demiki able to hit the first from the line. Rattles out on the second. The fight for the rebound comes down to Toussaint. Another offensive rebound off a miss for Durham. Demiki unable to hit the three on that attempt, and Toussaint again on the offensive glass is going to be fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
So the free throw shooting is a really interesting story in this game. Durham can't really seem to make too many, but they rebound every miss they have on those. So it's thus far actually worked out for Durham.
Able to hit the first there for Toussaint. And hit the second.
That's going to be pretty unique that you could put them both in the back part of the rim like that twice and kind of like die and then just roll in. You don't see it very often. I definitely don't see it very often with 2 shots in a row.
Consistency, Steven. Consistency.
Very impressive.
Messier gets right into the lane. She's going to be fouled on that layup. She'll be at the line for 2 of her own.
Yeah, nice little response. I think the Durham last couple possessions felt like they've got a chance to leak out and get back to things we've been taught they want to get to. Messier just comes back in transition, gets right to the foul line for herself. So it's not building a case for Durham momentum. It's actually just keeping this game going as it has been, which has been back and forth.
Messier a little bit off on her own attempt. Able to hit the second. We have a timeout, Crothers here with 31.7 seconds left in the second quarter. Durham Elite leading 30-26.
This is probably, Crothers now the timeout, this is probably a really cool opportunity to try something on defense. You get 32 seconds, you probably get a chance to go out there and throw something at them, and it can be something that you may not use ever again, or maybe something you want to get a quick look at and see how Durham responds to. But ultimately, you're probably trying to find the way to turn this into what would be an 8-second possession if they use the entire clock into something more like a 15 or 16-second possession.
Let's see what Coach Graham draws up.
Durham, I think, if I was Durham in this scenario, what we would want to do is get something back to Washington being involved. And I think that Crothers deserves a lot of credit that this quarter has felt like Washington's been taken out of the play a bit. So if you can get something going into halftime game where you just have her back, feeling good about it and feeling like she's a part of the play is probably a big positive. And it doesn't mean she has to end up taking the final shot, but if you can just get something where she's involved in the action, it would be a plus.
Demiki inbound. Here's Washington. 31 seconds here. They got a 7 seconds difference. And they're able to tie her up right at half court. Grizzle, great play there. A little cool defensive tactic there by Graham, able to tie up Washington at half court.
Yeah, both teams came out and tried, I guess, a bit of that. You got Washington in on the stop play, and Crothers came out there and tried something different.
So still a 6 seconds difference here, shot clock, game clock. Washington at the top, defended by Messier. Demiki looking to drive on Grizzle, gets to her spin. Blocked there by Grizzle. The fight for the rebound. It's going to be tied up there. It looks like it's Bailey and Downs on the offensive rebound, so it's going to go Crothers' way this time. 8.5 seconds remaining in the game. First half.
First half. That was a nice block. That was a really nice block, actually. I thought Demiki had a nice little spin.
A little baseball pass finds a cutting Downs, unable to hit, but right again an offensive rebound, and she'll be at the line for 2 more. A burst of speed there for Downs.
Yeah, I'd say that's going to be exactly what Crothers wanted, and you can just see the reaction from Durham bench. It's pretty frustrating that you can take it out of the end line with 8 seconds left to throw it over top you to get that layup and the offensive rebound. So both teams will take that as a pretty good lesson, I guess, going into halftime. Awareness and capitalizing on those opportunities.
Right, able to hit the first.
See if either team has a sub coming in here for last 5.
And able to hit the second. Here's Washington driving on Downs, gets the pull-up 3 to go. Just a bit short. So at the end of the first half, we have Durham Elite 30, Bill Crothers 29. Leading scorers for Bill Crothers is Tia Mazier with 12. Leading scorers for Durham Elite, Kashana Washington with 9. All right, Steve, here we go. Second half. Let's get it started. Durham Elite bringing it up against the man-to-man defense now here from Crothers. A deep three from Chadwick, and she's able to convert.
I think one of the storylines, the keys in the second half is going to be O'Hara with the 3 fouls early, because one of her biggest assets is how she goes to rebound and challenge shots, and those are 2 areas that she's going to be very cautious in. So is that going to impede some of the strength she brings to the court for Durham?
Downs gets rights in the lane. Her floater's no good, though, but Golden fights for the O board, finds a cutting Messier, whose floater is a bit short. Another O board, though, for Crothers, and she's going to be fouled.
So on that point, that's a nice job by O'Hara in the first opportunity she gets. Messier gets that rebound coming in the lane. She kind of stays both hands straight up and makes the shot difficult, but can't challenge it like she normally does, but kept herself out of a foul situation. So I think it's going to have an impact in this game. It's going to be really important how it plays out.
Golden there, blocked by Chadwick on her little hook attempt. Durham continues to go zone on the baseline out of bounds. They get to Chadwick on the block, who's unable to hit. Downs comes down with the rebound for Crothers, and she looks to push the other way. Right to the basket on the left side. Unable to hit the finger roll, though. Durham comes back the other way.
Yeah, tough miss because you had O'Hara pull out of that layup attempt again. She had to stay out of it to the side.
They find O'Hara on the left block. She's unable to hit, but she's going to be fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
That's one for O'Hara you're going to want to finish. I mean, you get the opportunity there. The foul does come. You draw that foul, but she probably took a little too long, a little too lackadaisical getting that ball up to the glass, and I think that's one that you got to finish and get an and one type scenario. She'll want that one back.
Able to hit the first from the line. And the second.
Quick start for Durham here in the second half, so there's a little bit of pressure for Bill Crothers to get something going offensively. You don't want to fall into a deficit like the game started in the second half as well.
Downs 3 attempt was no good. Samuel's follow was blocked there by Chadwick. Washington's pass was picked off there by Golden. Coming the other way is Crothers. Grizzle's going to be fouled there on her attempt. She'll go to the line for 2.
This is a good way to neutralize the start for Crothers. If you get to the free throw line, get a chance to get 2 clean looks at it, slow the momentum of what's going on in Durham's favor, and just get yourself back into this game. Not to imply that they're out of it, but just so the momentum's not going against them.
Grizzle a little bit short on the first attempt. And hits the second. Crothers still able to convert the majority of their chances from the free throw line, so able to use the foul shots effectively to get their way back into this. Chadwick gets in the lane. She's going to be fouled on that attempt by Grizzle. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, it looked like Chadwick, nice job on the shot, making an attack towards middle. It looked like she might have got away with a shuffle of the feet before that happened, but regardless of that, able to get around Golden and steal that space off to take on Grizzle one-on-one was a nice job. So gets herself 2 more free throw attempts.
Grizzle working around. She finds Wright cutting on the baseline. She's still she can't control it. It's stolen away by Bailey. Sorry, stumbling. Washington's able to finish in transition.
So they continue to find Washington's transition. So you can feel the importance of transition for Durham. It allows them to get Washington involved. It's just a big core to their offensive package.
Downs the 3 now. Too strong. Durham's able to come up with it. Washington again in transition. Gets to her reverse. Rattles out though. The fight for the rebound. It's going to be tied up. Good effort there by Massam, able to tip it off of Bill Crothers' player.
And despite not converting on it, again, you're getting Washington involved. And I think so much more can happen for everybody else if they get Washington involved. As long as she's a threat, whether it be in transition or quarter court, it just makes Crothers have to respect her, what's going on, opens up space for everyone else.
They get Chadwick a touch on the block. She kicks out to O'Hara for 3, and it's good. Great start here for Durham Elite, pushing the lead now, 42-30. 7 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, tough start there for Crothers. So you come out almost at the game start, and it goes 12-1 for Durham to start this quarter, and that puts you back into a hold. So again, there's still 17 minutes to go. There's plenty of time for 12 points. That's not as much the issue, but the issue is now you've got to dig yourself out of that hole, and ultimately got to get on the plus side of the equation for this to take what you want in the game. So Crothers going to make some changes right now. The first quarter was getting back in transition and the rebounding when it first started. This time it's just a little bit of consistency on the defensive end. They got to hold some people in front of them.
We're back. So here Durham extends their pressure, a little show full court man-to-man. I want to give a special shout out as Grizzle, a little sizzle from Grizzle from 3, but a little special shout out, Coach T tuning in all the way from Saskatchewan, senior head coach Lisa Tomitis. We're a big fan. Thanks for tuning in, Coach.
And I wonder now, this will be part of the equation I'm sure Durham taught in their timeout that I'd forgot originally, is when do you start to let O'Hara go back to what she's best at? I mean, she makes the shots for you offensively, but defensively, challenging shots, going in there and rebounding. Are you feeling comfortable now that she can do that and get involved in the play again, or do you still want her to protect herself because she's carrying the 3 fouls?
A carry there on Grizzle, and it's going to come back the other way with Durham. The tough defense there by Downs at the top. And it's going to be called for the foul on Bailey.
I like that this gets Washington back involved, so they get the chance to go to a set piece, and the set piece is to come right back to Kashana Washington. She gets a driving layup, something going to the rim for her to get her as a piece of this offense. So Durham responding to the Grizzle 3 by getting their top scorer back involved.
It was tipped away, and it's going to be called a kickball there on Grizzle, so it's going to go to Durham Elite, so it's going to be Durham Elite ball.
So let's see, last time they had the ball sideline.
Oh, sorry, a little bit of confusion.
Yep.
It was going to be a kick on Massam, so it's going to be Crothers' ball still.
Oh, okay. Good correction.
Here's Messier at the top. Tough defense there by O'Hara and Washington. Wright looking to attack now. Blocked out of bounds by O'Hara. It will remain with Crothers.
Wow, credit to O'Hara. I think in that play she was still staying within herself, ensuring she wasn't getting a foul, but did a wonderful job of keeping both hands straight up and then meeting the ball outside of the hand on the release. So a lot of credit playing with 3 fouls and getting a shot block there.
Ooh. Nifty move there from Wright to avoid the defenders, and she's able to finish for 2.
It was a nice little scoop, Max. The catch down low on one side, knee height, then rip it through and finish on the other side. It's a nice little play.
Going coast to coast now. Finds Messier going, and she's going to be fouled by Bailey. Messier will be at the line for 2.
Yeah, that's a good challenge. I think that they kind of ripped that ball. Carlos out there in space, so I think you just got to go in there sometimes and take that one to slow down the pace of what's going on. Don't them building too much, but Carlos is going to like what's happening now for them on the other side of the equation.
And much like we talked about last game with Maskowicz and her ability to break out and start the break, we saw that with Wright, and we saw Messier streaking down the left lane. It was really that initial push that freed up the rest of her team.
Exactly.
Messier able to hit the first from the line, unable to convert the second, though, as Chadwick cleans up the glass. Chadwick going coast to coast a little bit herself, but unable to figure out the footwork there just at the end, as she's going to be called for the travel, so it will go Bill Crothers' way.
A little early confusion here in closing the set, but I think they got themselves sorted out now.
Messier gets into the lane, but she's going to be... But there's going to be called for a foul there on a push from behind, so it's going to remain Bill Crothers' ball.
Yeah, those ones always look a little worse, I think, than they are when you get your feet tangled, just because when you're running, your foot gets caught up and your only option is to fall, so it looks a little worse than it really was, but it was just a little bit of contact from behind. I think it was all the fouls. It was pretty mundane as fouls go, but
mundane.
A tough outcome.
Word of the day. Word of the day. Bailey gets out in transition, unable to finish with the left. The follow by Massam's going to be tied up by Messier. Crothers comes down with it. They're looking to push. Messier gets it on the left wing, gets right in the lane. Her pass for Wright is a little bit off. She gets it over to Jagid. Her shot's no good, but Alexander, another offensive rebound. Right now, right in the key. Her hook's no good. The fight for that rebound's going to be tipped off of Wright. It's going to go Durham Elite way.
It's too bad. That first pass in transition, I think, Crothers probably missed 2 there. The first one to Messier was a little bit of a tough pass. She looked ready to shoot that shot. It's probably going to be a rhythm 3, but a tough pass forced her to go put the ball on the floor. Then her pass is a little off, too, and they had to work so much harder to get it back to Wright.
Allen's pass is picked off there by Downs, and they find Messier now in transition. She's able to hit the long jumper for 2.
Ball was knocked away there, so they got a whistle to bring that back in. Just allows Crothers to set up what they're doing defensively.
Durham gets it into Allen, dribbles up the left wing. Her pass for O'Hara, though, too low. It goes off her leg and out of bounds. It's going to go Bill Crothers' way.
Ball pressure can show its face in all sorts of different ways of effect, and I think that's one of them there. You just kind of chase the ball, handle it down the floor, then she goes to pass, and ends up being one right at her teammate's knees, and it's just a tough one to catch. So a little ball pressure converts into a turnover.
Here's Messier. Trapped. They get it down to Alexander, who's blocked again by O'Hara. Right at the top now. She gets in the lane. Unable to convert the finger roll, but Jagid on the follow. It's short. Chadwick cleans it up for Durham.
Yeah, O'Hara, another great block again, too. I got to give her a lot of credit. I've been really impressed by the play here in the third quarter. Protecting herself with 2 fouls, blocking 2 shots. That one again, straight up jump. Hand stayed above the head, so it was all straight ahead and clean block.
Sorry, correction, that's 3 fouls on O'Hara, so.
Sorry, what did I say?
And Wright's 3 is a little bit off. It's going to be Jagid with the follow and the foul. She'll be at the line to convert the 3-point play. And converts a free throw. Here's Washington at the top, so a zone defense look here from Crothers, and they find Demiki for three. A three-key for Demiki from the left wing.
These are always the challenge in the zone defense. You go into it, and coaches always fear giving the three-point shot, so it's a bit of a test to your commitment to playing zone. They go in, high post, out three-pointer. Are you going to stay with it, or do you think it's a problem?
Great look there, finding Alexander on the block, and she's able to finish with the foul from Hutchins, going to the line for a three-point play of her own.
Alexander's a nice job on this one, too, kind of holding the contact as the ball's arriving. Sometimes offensive players get a little excited. The ball's coming there. You go to it, which is something you have to do eventually, but you let go of the seal so early the defender gets a bunch of space. She held that contact till last minute, then releasing the ball. Defender ends up leaning on her, draws a foul as well.
Alexander hits another from the line, being extremely efficient there this game. 6 for 7 so far. Crothers again in this zone look. Durham gets it down low, but the shot is blocked. Golden cleans it up, and it's going to be tipped off Massam. It's going to go Crothers' ball.
Durham's own offenses look pretty good, though. 2 touches now, both gone into a hair of the high post, and she's made 2 great decisions. They've got an open 3 look that fell, and they got a nice post touch in the block that didn't go, but getting good opportunities out of it.
Here's Messier now, off the handoff from Grizzle. Finds a cutting Jagid, her floater, too strong. Hutchins cleans it up. Washington looking to push now for Durham. Gets a little pull up just inside the 3, too short. The fight for the rebound, and Crothers comes away with it. Messier finds a cutting Alexander this time, and she's able to finish again.
There's a breakdown there for Durham. Someone lost her. She kind of came running from both the mid-court line, and no one had matched up or any awareness of where she was till she's at the rim.
Right back the other way. Washington goes coast to coast and finishes with a floater of her own. Grizzle looking to attack. They get it to Golden. The left corner does a move on Hutchins. Unable to convert. The fight for the rebound, though. It's going to be off of Grizzle. Durham elite ball.
Yeah, tough one for Golden there. I thought she made a pretty good move, but lost her balance when she spun back, so the ball ended up going a little errant on her.
Washington to bring it up. Crothers stays in this zone defensive look here. Washington a deep 3 from the left side. Just a bit off. It's going to go over to Crothers now. Samuels at the top, finds a cutting Jagid. She gets another floater look, this time off the bounce. It's no good. The fight for the rebound, it's bouncing around. Toussaint comes up with it.
Toussaint did a great job on the rebound there.
Here's Demiki for 3, just too strong. Golden comes down with it. Here's Messier. Messier, she looks to push. Little fancy dribble move, finds Golden at the elbow, sorry. They get it back to Golden on the block this time. She's tied up by Demiki. She gets the block. Comes down with the rebound and gets it over to Washington, who's going to push herself. Woo! A little too fancy with the dribble there. It's going to be off her foot and out of bounds. It's going to be Bill Crothers' ball. 38 seconds here in the third quarter.
And that one's too tough. I think Washington did a really nice job in transition, getting into some contact. And then when they separated from that, she just seemed to lose a little bit of her spatial awareness of where the basketball was, and it kind of got away from her. So not implying that there should have been a call. I just think it's just one of those unfortunate plays. Got the contact, release from it, and then basketball went a little bit different than her body on it.
Grizzle able to get in the lane, but tied up there by Massam. Her pass for Golden is tipped away by Toussaint. Demiki comes up with it. 20 seconds left here in the third. Her pass out to Toussaint. She's able to corral it. Finds a cutting Massam, but it's tipped away by Grizzle. On the ball, I believe we're going to get a kick ball called on Golden.
So now Carruthers getting a couple subs in here. 12 seconds left, so you probably protect some defensively. Who do you think is your best defensive lineup out there, or protect when you might have foul trouble? So good sub by Coach Graham. Capitalize on that 13-second whistle.
They inbound it. Downs goes for the steal. O'Hara gets an open look out of it, unable to convert. Alexander comes down with the board, and it's going to be tipped off Bailey on the fight for the on the glass. It's going to go Crothers' way.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, Crothers probably want the chance to go for that steal. Would have been a chance to break out. They went for it.
Again, they get the baseball pass down to Downs. She attacks. It's going to be blocked off. O'Hara block off of Downs. It's going to be Durham Elite ball, 3 seconds on the baseline.
So now O'Hara piles up 3 blocks in the third quarter with 3 fouls on her. Each of them done so well, protecting herself, not extending into the space of the offensive player. Very impressive. A real great quarter for her.
Bailey's able to get around the defender, gets to the left hand. It's unable to convert, though. So, at the end of 3 quarters, we have 51 Durham Elite, 46 Bill Crothers.
Yeah, it's been the slow starts of the halves have been really the big factor here for Crothers. So they've gotten themselves in a bit of a deficit both times, and most of them have really been the defensive piece of it. So the first half being transition, the second half just being people getting right by them in the quarter court blow by. So when they come out here in the fourth quarter, 5 points is not really that much of a gap to make up, but they have to ensure that they're on top of what's going on. They can't let this go the other direction to 8 or 10 and then try and climb their way all the way back into this game. So the start's going to be really key for them. On the other side, for Durham, they've got to find something that continues to keep Kashana Washington involved. They've done a real nice job in the third quarter of getting her back into the offense after a slow second. And now you can probably take the shackles off and let O'Hara be a little more active and see what plays that she can make and create for you. You've got 10 minutes now. She can probably do that with 2 fouls and still take some chances and make some plays that she does.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, Downs to inbound. It's going to be tipped off to Miki. It's going to remain Bill Crothers' ball right in front of us here.
Yeah, Demiki almost got that back to Downs before it hit it at bounds. It happened to bounce just before, but it almost ended up being a disaster for Downs. Lost her bounce, and it can just go so bad so quickly.
Disaster. Here's Wright off the big-to-big ball screen. Nice little action there for Crothers. Wright. Messier off right screen, finds Wright at the top. Little tie up there by Chadwick. Durham comes up with it. Here's Chadwick in transition, and she's able to finish for 2.
Yeah, nice trap coming on the ball screen. Nice job by Chadwick chasing that thing down. And she didn't get the initial steal, but she kept it alive by getting her hands in there. And then
Wright making a move now on Chadwick. Gets right to the rim, unable to convert. Chadwick, though, is going to travel there after the pressure from Wright, and it's going to remain with Bill Crothers on the baseline.
Yeah, too bad. She did a nice job again there to fight for that rebound, but getting a little tied up and took an extra step before she could get it out.
Messier up top for 3, a little bit off. Wright again fighting for the O-glass. Going to be tied up by Miss Sam, so it's going to go Durham Elite ball.
Wright's been a really good presence for Carruthers in the glass here. It's been consistent throughout the game as well, too. She's just been around it and putting the ball in, which can't be undersold, but also just creating possessions by going and getting rebounds.
Downs ties up Bailey here at the top. She's able to get it down to Chadwick, though, at the high post. The step back on Alexander, too strong. Fighting for the O board, though. It's going to be off Bailey and Massam. It's going to go Bill Crothers' way. Bailey, much like the Lincoln guards, has been able to get by her defender on the offensive end and get hands on the boards, whether it's to herself or tip to another teammate. So if you're Crothers, you just got to put a body on her on every shot.
That's too bad for Crothers. That was a good, not your point, but that possession. They got a really good look out of that. They got an extra pass in the paint to get it right beside the rim and just were unable to convert, which is probably disappointing when you have such a great possession and walk away with nothing out of it.
It's going to be a foul there on Grizzle. That's her 4th of the game, and Massam's going to be at the line for 2.
And Durham has improved their free throw percentage after a slow start to the game. They've done a little better converting at the line, so we'll see if they can keep that trend going here in the 4th quarter.
A little bit off for Massam. Jinxed her.
Only I had that kind of power.
Stop. Oh. And off on both, and Grizzle gets down with it. Oh. They're going to call Bailey there on the block. So it's going to remain with Crothers on the sideline now.
Yeah, those are bang plays, and you got to give the referee credit. I mean, those are ones that if Bailey could keep from the contact for even half sec, she probably gets a travel because she does a nice job of surprising her. The pass leads her to a tough spot, but you get a little too excited, you get into the space, and you make contact first, then that's what ends up leading to the travel, and it has to be called.
Here's Messier working on Bailey up top. They find Chadwick on the baseline. Oh, never mind. Chadwick with the steal on the baseline. Woo. And the ball just slipped out of Bailey's hands into the crowd. It's going to go Bill Crothers' way.
Yeah, she had the right idea. Nice job getting baseline side. Saw where she wanted to go with that, and you just see the came out of her hands. It was not under control.
Errant pass. Here we have Messier working against Bailey. Downs gets it. They have Alexander up top now. Looking for her teammates. Samuel, shot clock down to 7 for Bill Crothers. Tied up. They get Downs, an open look under the basket. She's able to finish this time.
Nice job just sticking with what's going on.
Ooh. Good fight there by Jagid, tipping it away from Massam. It's going to remain with Durham Elite off Bill Crothers, though.
These are tough ones when it gets pushed baseline but way out to the corner. It makes it a lot harder angle to get the ball towards the rim, so it's less of a threat for
Demiki goes for a three-point attempt. It's tipped away by Messier, though. Bailey comes up with it. Gets right into the lane. Her floater's no good. Tipped away, comes down to Samuels. It's Messier at the top. Finds Alexander. Oh, it's going to be good defense there by Demiki. It's off Alexander. It's going to go Durham Elite ball.
Yeah, those ones, like, from the very top into the post are always tough. If you have a chest showing too, you can throw it in directly. That's, I mean, great position for the offensive player. But anything over the top's got a very small window because the baseline's on the other side of it, and you got a jumping Demiki on the top side of it. It makes it a really tight place to fit the pass in.
Here's Washington working against Messier up top. O'Hara now on the right wing. Looks to make a move on Alexander. Finds Toussaint up top and banks the three in. The bank is open here on the Friday afternoon.
His possessions all become so big now. You got 7 minutes to go, 8 points, so everything's going to become important. And I think the bank shot really is going to put a little bit of pressure here on Crothers. They don't have to panic. Nothing has to change, but execution and decisions are really important here down the stretch.
Messier looking to find Samuels in the corner. Her pass is tipped away, though, by Washington. It's going to remain Crothers' ball. 10 seconds on the shot clock here. Oh, great hustle there by Bailey, but Messier's able to retain it. They get it to Alexander in the key. Her shot's no good. Gets her own offensive rebound. It's no good, but Samuels is able to finish.
Nice job by Alexander keeping it alive, and great job by Samuels being in the right place, right time to finish it.
Pushing the other way, O'Hara gets a clean look from the corner. It's no good. The fight for the rebound, though, is going to be off Samuels. It's going to remain with Durham Elite.
It's a good shot for Durham. You get out in transition, you get O'Hara. Good corner 3 look.
We have Demiki and Downs both checking in here. 6:23 left in the fourth. Bailey in the corner tries to find Washington. Messier goes for the steal, but's able to recover. Washington finds Toussaint cutting to the basket. Her left-handed layup is good in traffic.
Yeah, big 5 here for Toussaint. Last 5 points. Washington, nice job coming in and just a beautiful pass. Just kind of ate her up. Even if she wasn't able to catch it, would have hit her right in the chest, so she had no choice but to corral it.
Messier works, finds Samuels on the right wing, working against Demiki. Able to find Alexander down low, puts a move on. It's going to be called for the travel, though, on Toussaint. It's going to go Durham Elite way.
Yeah, it was a pretty good move. I think the only downside for Alexander there, she got so far on the fake or the jab that she lost a bit of her balance, and the result being the shuffle of the feet to get that back. But I think the idea was great. Had a nice little shoulder fake and move towards the middle. She could have got herself back to the baseline side. Could have been a good little opportunity.
We have Wright checking back in and Jagid, both for Crothers. So some new faces the last 6 minutes of the game here. Let's see if they can chip away at this 8-point Durham Elite lead. Demiki working against Downs. Great defense by Downs. Demiki able to handle it. They get it to Chadwick on the wing. Finds Washington. The step back is blocked there by Alexander. Wright's able to clean up the rebound. Downs there is going to be fouled by Washington looking to push. It's going to remain Bill Crothers' ball. Messier. Wright finds Alexander on the block. She makes a move on Chadwick, and she's able to get it to go.
Nice move. It's the confusion there on the top on the ball screen coverage. Ended up with both Durham players chasing Messier. And I think ultimately that created the window to get the ball into Alexander so easily.
O'Hara, another look from 3. This time it's good from the left wing.
That's a big one. Like I said, she had a good clean look in the corner a little bit earlier, but that was a big shot now. So push it back to 9. There's 5 minutes to go. So now starting at the stage where Crothers is going to decide, are they going to do something different, or do they feel like they can get enough stops to allow them to score a 9-point difference here down the stretch?
Messier's able to get right in the lane. Unable to convert the floater, though. It's going to be tipped off of Wright. It's going to remain with Durham.
So your choice is now either to play great defense and you have to hold them essentially, I won't say without scoring. I think that's a monumental ask, but you got to hold them quite low, and then you got to make up enough points on top of that. So say you with like a 13-4 type spread, or alternatively you got to speed up the game and get some extra possessions if you're Crothers.
And right back the other way, we have Washington driving on Messier. She'll go to the line for 2.
We said coming to the fourth quarter, we thought keeping Washington involved would be really important for Durham. They've done a nice job thus far, and now getting her back to the line will be good as well. But one of the keys I thought and how the pattern went for them with Washington is they actually have gotten her, they already gave her her rest. So they gave her probably about a minute and a half already in this quarter. So she's got the fresh legs to finish and be a piece of what they're trying to do for the next 4.5.
Washington's able to hit both from the line, extending Durham Elite's lead now 63-52, 4 minutes here in 20 seconds. Work it around, they have Grizzle, 5 on the shot clock, finds Wright, cutting to the basket. Her shot's just a bit off. O'Hara's able to clean up the miss. Wright's going to be called for the kick there, tying up O'Hara, so it's going to remain with Durham Elite.
So right call. just a little bit of bad luck. I think Wright had her fooled. She had O'Hara fooled that she was there. So went to the cross back over. She's totally off guard. Just unfortunate, it was her foot that got the ball. Didn't happen to hit her like in the thigh or something.
Here's Demiki working on downs again. Washington at the top now, guarded by Messier. Washington directing traffic, kicks it over to Demiki. 7 on the shot clock now. Chadwick takes a deep 3, and she's able to hit. Everyone's stepping up here in the second half for Durham.
Yeah, now the challenge is really out to Carruthers. They're going to do something here to change the pace of this game. I mean, they've got to make up 14 points. They need extra possessions. They're going to look at the options being either you're going to foul, you're going to have some other ways to create possession with your defense.
Wright's pass was tipped off. Coming the other way, though, Washington tries to find Toussaint cutting to the basket. She got a little tied up, though. It's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be Crothers' ball. So with 3:14 remaining, we have a 14-point lead. Durham leads 66-52 over Bill Crothers.
I don't want to predict what the referees were thinking or seeing on that play, but I think the pass was a little errant, which made the tie-up a little irrelevant.
Oh, they find Grizzle in the post. Going to work on Demiki. Gets a lefty scoop. It rattles out. The fight for the rebound. O'Hara's able to come up with it. Tipped away by Downs, though, and right to the basket. She's able to hit for 2.
O'Hara did a nice job tracking that one down. Ended up with like the worst case outcome of it, but nice tip, nice chase, nice rip. Balls get poked loose.
Here's Washington working against Messier. Looking to use some clock. They have it down to 8 on the shot clock here as O'Hara gets open for 3. That one's just a bit too strong. The tip out to Downs, and Crothers looks to push. Grizzle gets around Chadwick, but her lefty isn't good. Washington pushes right back the other way. The long 2 for Toussaint's no good. Wright's able to clean up the boards. Her pass, though, goes right to Chadwick, but her attempt's blocked by Wright. The fight for the ball is going to be tied up by O'Hara, and Grizzle, it's going to go Crothers' way.
These are tough for Crothers now. Like I said, 12 points, 2 minutes. They're going to convert most of your chances here in offense. There's not much wiggle room for misses and that, so you got to find a way to score.
Got to score. It's a action we've seen a few times where they get Grizzle coming right down to the basket. They find her this time, and she's able to hit for 2. Let's see if they can get a stop now. 10 point, 1 minute, 40 seconds left. Messier on Washington. Bailey now working against Grizzle. Work it around. They have 9 on the shot clock, Durham. Bailey takes the 3. It's no good. Golden's able to clean it up. It's going to be a foul on Washington on the rebound, so it's going to remain with Crothers.
You get to this stage of the game, and I'm sure Durham will talk about this a bit. We actually want to, they would want to, not we want to, they want to stay out of fouling. What you don't want to do is create a scenario where they get the bonus on something just like this.
Mm-hmm.
A rebounding scenario 90 feet away, you foul, they're going to go shoot free throws. And alternatively, you really don't want to get it anywhere at this stage. If Crothers is going to come back and you're Durham, you want them to have to make all those shots in the next 90 seconds to do it.
And Crothers has been quite efficient from the line, so if they're going to send them there, you don't want them to send them to a spot where they've already been proved that they can make it.
Great point. So for Crothers now, you got 90 seconds, and like we said, they got to make up 10 points, so some sort of defensive pressure is going to come.
We'll see. Just clearing everything up with the clock, letting them know how this last minute and a half is going to go. And here's Messier. Bill Crothers has got to work quick. They look for another cutting Grizzle right to the basket. She's going to be fouled by Bailey on the cut, so that's going to be the 4th team foul on Durham, a minute 20 here. So something to watch here as they're getting close to that foul situation. The bonus situation. It was a foul situation. Woo. And just like the last game, we're going to have a hold before the ball is inbound. So we're going to have 2 shots for Grizzle at the line before they get the ball back.
So there's going to be a little. It's still 10 points, so you don't want to overreact if you're Durham on this piece, but it is exactly what we talked about last time. This is the worst case scenario of what you can be doing, which is fouling them. They never even take a shot attempt yet, and they're going to have a chance to take 2 points off that lead. The clock has expired is almost the minimum amount possible during this possession, and they're going to get the ball back. So Durham's going to force Crows to put the ball in play and earn their points.
Grizzle's able to hit the first from the line. That foul was also Bailey's 5th, so she has been checked out of the game since. So many people on Durham in foul trouble, so those key members also piling up fouls with the situation. Grizzle able to hit both from the line, so we now have an 8-point lead, a minute 19 here. Downs to inbound for Crothers.
Yeah, I mean, if Crothers can have their way, they want to get back to something similar. Anything they can draw a foul, I think going towards the rim that has them with hands on or opportunity to draw a foul would be to their advantage.
They inbound to Messier. Durham here in his zone look, giving a different picture here to Crothers. They find Alexander on the block. She gets doubled by Demiki. The tie-up's going to go Durham way, so a little change of pace there by Durham pays dividends as it confused the offense just enough.
Yeah, close. Nice extra pass, though, by Wright to go block to get to Alexander. You just kind of hope for a better outcome, but good pass, and you can see they're going to go offense, defensive sub for her right now.
They inbound it to Demiki. She works against Downs. Here's Washington on with Messier covering. Messier is able to get around the screen. Washington gets right in the lane, though. It's going to be blocked out of bounds. It's going to remain Durham Elite ball. 11 seconds on the shot clock. They find a cutting Chadwick right to the basket, and she's able to hit for 2.
Yeah, Crothers needs to get this clock stopped any way they can now.
Messier right to the other way, and she's able to hit for 2.
That's a great start to it. Now they got to find something out that they're going to foul or trap.
A little clock confusion there as the clock's going to stop after every made basket here in the last 2 minutes.
Well, small advantage for Crothers not to happen right now. A great whistle to get a chance to set themselves up here defensively. Get organized, and if they're going to take a chance at this, if they're going to go straight for the foul.
We have a timeout Durham here. 46 seconds remaining. 8-point lead Durham Elite over Bill Crothers.
I think Durham's responsibility in this one is really just to get the ball in. They know that the pressure's on Crothers. They want to come for a steal or a foul, so their job is to ensure that ball gets in. And most times you prefer to have the pass going towards the basket you're shooting, so nothing. Worst case scenario is you don't want something going towards half. It's stolen. It's breakaway layup. So considering both time and score in this case, they want something going towards the hoop they're shooting on. Hopefully draw a foul up in that area, protect the ball when it gets in.
Here we have Crothers, again with that offensive-defensive change. Now we have Wright coming in on the defensive end. So for Crothers, for the last 46 seconds, we have Wright, Alexander, Downs, Grizzle, and Messier. For Durham, we have O'Hara, Washington, Chadwick, Demiki, and Toussaint. Demiki to inbound.
Put Alexander to the ball here, see if she can limit the passing angles and vision of Demiki.
Tipped away there by Downs on the pass intended for Washington. It's going to remain with Durham Elite. Oh. A little bit of confusion here with the clock. Pass again. Tipped away by Downs. It's going to remain with Durham. Demeke inbound again. They're looking for Chadwick down low. This time Downs is able to come up with it. Here comes Crothers looking to push. Grizzle the other way. It's going to be tipped out of bounds by Demeke. Nice recovery there for Durham. It's going to be Bill Crothers' ball on the baseline.
Yeah, I get it from Grizzle's perspective. You got to take some of those chances. You're getting on a transition, you want to throw to the one ahead. But really for Crothers right now, it's so essential they get a shot. I mean, you got 8 points to make up, 37 seconds. You're going to have to score probably every possession so to ensure you're getting a good shot or the best shot you can get. Can't afford to throw it away.
Downs to inbound. No defender on the inbounder here for Durham. They find Messier cutting, though. Her floater's good. Oh, clock did not stop, though.
Well, that was an interesting one. I mean, nice little play there by Crothers to get Messier going towards the hoop. What was really interesting is that she had Washington on her back, and Washington took a stab at the ball. So worked out fine for Durham, but they were exposed at a chance that could have been a foul call in that play as well. And I believe Washington's carrying 4 herself at this stage.
The inbound goes to Demeke. Downs went for the steal, unable to control it, though. They get it ahead to Chadwick, who goes right to the basket, and she's able to hit for 2. Oh, little confusion here, as I think the Crothers coach wanted a timeout. That's Coach Graham, Coach Burrs, and Coach Miles wanted that timeout with the made basket. So we're going to fix the clock on that. They will get the ball, and it will be an 8-point Durham ball. There will be an 8-point Durham lead. Crothers ball coming out of the timeout.
I think there's going to be some conversation with the clock itself right now and time that should actually be left on. Additionally, do we have the correct timeouts remaining on the clock? Do you know our scenario in this? Okay. So we're at the stage, the Chadwick layup really put the pressure back now because it puts it back to 3 possessions. So, again, if you're Carruthers, it's just going to be something to score again. You got to get something to score, and you're going to have to make a play here at some point on defense. And you can pick your poison this. Either you're going to have to create some sort of turnover or you've got to go for a foul and hope they miss their free throws. But somewhere you're going to have to make a play. But offensively, you just got to continue to score and keep yourself alive at this stage.
The inbound to Samuels, the 3 from the corner, too strong. The fight for the rebound comes down to Chadwick. It's going to be tipped off Messier. It's going to be Durham Elite ball. 21.5 seconds here. The inbound to Washington. She's going to be fouled by Messier. Crothers still has 2 more fouls to get into the bonus. They get it into Washington, kicks it ahead to Chadwick. Tucson. Durham doing a good job eluding the defenders. That's another foul that's going to be on Masir. That's the team's 4th now, so 1 more. That foul on down is going to put Chadwick at the line for 2. A little bit off on the first. And but too strong in the second. Rebound comes out to Masir. She looks to push the other way. Grizzle gets a pull-up 3 there in transition. Just too strong. Washington comes down with it. And that'll do it. Durham Elite takes this one 70-62 over the Bill Crothers Colts. Leading scorers for the game for Bill Crothers are Tia Masir with 19. Iseline Alexander with 12. Leading scorers for Durham Elite are Julia Chadwick with 17, 18, Kashana Washington with 17, and Kylie O'Hara with 13. Well, Steve, it's been a great start to the Ryerson Hoop Fest. 2 great OSBA games, and we hope to see you guys all at the Yukon Duquesne game tonight. If not, please tune in to our next game of the week. It'll be January 10th. You'll be here with Steve Bauer, and he'll be joined by a special guest, Alicia Tatham, ringing in the new year the right way.
See ya. Thanks, Max.